You don't send a text.
The first thing I wrote down was, don't text. Like, what do you do? First of all, it's not a great way to interact with your manager if it's something serious. But that's not how you have a serious conversation. Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. Volkswagen has long been a supporter of soccer in America and has proudly been a partner of U.S. Soccer for over 5 years.
Welcome into Unfiltered Soccer with Landon, Donovan, that's him, and Tim Howard, that's me, presented by Volkswagen. Another fresh episode. LD, what's happening?
What's up, bud? I was in Cabo all weekend.
Gee, again?
Yeah.
How often do you go to Cabo?
It's a lot.
Private jet? Commercial?
This time we did actually take a private, but it wasn't ours. It was a friend's.
Oh
and the key to life is finding a friend with a private plane,
mate,
if you have not learned.
Dude.
That is the key to life.
You're not lying. You are not lying.
What about you? What are you up to?
Tell you what I did. I had a weekend off because FA Cup weekend. So
right.
We were off the desk at NBC. So I was like, I'm going to go get my beard trimmed. I'm going to mob around Soho.
Yeah, you do have it trimmed.
Do some errands, and it was chucking it down with rain. And I was like, oh, no, I'm going back in the house. And then yesterday, you'd be proud of me. I worked out, which I always do, but not because of that. I went to my buddy's bar, Rocco's, shout out to Rocco's, and watched football all day.
Oh, cool. It
all
was
day.
A great football day.
It was super
great
good. And so,
football day.
Just hung out, man. Did nothing.
Hey, when they trim your beard, how does this happen? Is it just with like clippers and they just go through and clip it?
Clippers.
Why wouldn't you just do it?
Straight razor. Because you get the whole hot towel treatment. You're in the barber's chair. I don't got to worry about it. Just kick back and
that's cool.
It's great.
All right, whatever. All right, guys. As always, follow us on social media at Unfiltered Soccer. If you have not subscribed, we probably have a big problem with you. So just hit that button. Make sure you follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. You can leave a review. And as always, email Jordan feedback at Unfiltered Soccer. All right, let's start, Timmy, with USMNT on USLNT.
Yeah.
Terrible weekend for Ricardo Pepi. If you haven't seen this clip, go watch. Ball gets played wide. It gets rolled across the middle of the goal mouth. He's all by himself. Mm-hmm. He has this weird sort of motion where he just taps it in. He's 2 yards out, but he falls backwards, and then he's in bad pain, and you can tell. Ends up he fractured his arm, and he's expected to be out for 2 months. So it seems it's going to be difficult for him to be ready for the Belgium-Portugal games for the national team in Atlanta. Yeah. This is an interesting one. Take on that quickly, and then I got some things to say.
I mean, my take is it's unfortunate. Obviously, you saw the amount of pain he was in, so it's not great. So hope that obviously his recovery is quicker than is expected. But comes it's another unfortunate sort of reoccurring theme that's been going on with this men's national team. And I think I have it. So he had an ACL injury last year, got himself fit and ready, playing well for PSV over the summer in terms of getting his preseason right. But he hasn't played for the national team. He hasn't played for the national team. He's logged 16 minutes from the beginning of 2025 when he got injured till if he doesn't play in March, he'll have played 16 minutes.
That is a wild stat.
And it's again, I harp on this, but it's constantly being in the shop window for your club, right? It's constantly like banging on the door of your national team manager. And what I mean by that is like sometimes you have to be a brat. Like sometimes you have to be in the ear of the assistant coach going, why isn't he playing? I should be playing this next game. I've done that. We're going, hey, going into camp, like, am I going to play this camp? Like, ask the assistant manager to sort of get answers from him and needle the manager. But we're having this conversation of like, what does it mean for the squad? I would throw that back to you, Landon, and go, do me a favor. Could you imagine us talking about Italy, England, Spain, and saying like, hey, the number 2 striker has only played 16 minutes over the last year.
Yeah,
is this our number 2 striker? You'd slap me. You would never talk about that in football terms. Yet on this show, we're talking about, hey, Where does Ricardo Pepi fall in the pecking order? Is he the number 2 striker? He's played 16 minutes. I get injuries, but he's played 16 minutes.
It's a wild stat. I didn't realize that until Andrew told us this morning, and it's weird because we talk about him almost not weekly, but almost every week, every other week, because he's doing well and scoring goals, but he's not a national team player right now. He's just not. And so, my other thought when I first saw this, and look, I want to be mindful here and careful. Like what happened is terrible. It was in some ways fluky. I get a little irritated when people say injuries are bad luck. They're not all bad luck.
Yeah.
But this reminds me of it brings me back to, and I can't speak to this for Ricardo Pepi, but I'm going to assume, and if I'm wrong, he can tweet about it or tell me, or he can call us or whatever and say that's not true. But when you watch kids who play one sport their whole life, they don't learn how to use their body in all different ways and situations. The way he fell was really interesting, and it was like it didn't seem athletic the way he fell. It was bizarre. He kind of he fell like an old man would fall in a Sunday league game.
Mm-hmm.
It was like ungraceful, unathletic. Game, yeah. I don't know if his foot got caught or something, so I'm going to give him some grace there. But it just felt to me like a moment where, because, again, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But because you only played one sport, you've never slid into second base, or you've never been trying to catch a football and you fall and brace your arm, or you've never fallen on a basketball court. And it just felt bizarre. So
sport specification, you're saying?
It feels like that. It feels like it was just like this unathletic movement, and all of a sudden that's what happened. And so, and I get it, like some people are athletic in different ways and all those things, but it just felt weird to me. And at some point you got to say, why so many injuries? I know we've harped on this here, but it feels like every week there's an injury and there's something bizarre happening. And look, I wish him the absolute best speedy recovery, but right now we talk about him, but he's not really a national team player. And by the way, Tim, the biggest thing was in the last camp, I think it was the Paraguay-Uruguay game, he played, I think, the last 16 minutes. That was his 16 minutes that he's played of the Paraguay game.
And then
the Uruguay game was 3 days later, and he didn't play at all.
I know.
He didn't play at all. So
we found that weird at the time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And now if you're Pochettino, it's like, okay, now I'm probably going to miss him for another camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think his chances now are getting slimmer and slimmer that he's going to find himself on the team. Because if Ajimon keeps going, if other guys, we'll talk about Sargent in a bit. If other guys get going, he's probably
he might make it by default. And I mean that with respect, but yeah.
And it's sad because he's been really good for PSV.
Absolutely has.
He has. So.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to Josh Sargent. So interesting stuff going on here. We just saw this. He apparently refused to play in the FA Cup game, which I think has been verified. He told the coach, and I believe he texted the manager, he's got transfer things in his head, and he's been rumored to go to Toronto FC. I believe Toronto FC, again, rumored to put in an $18 million bid for him.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. The club has said, obviously not something we want, and there will be consequences. And the club has made it really clear to Josh and his agent that he will not be leaving during the summer window. So what's your take on all this?
Winter window?
I'm sorry, the winter window.
Yeah.
This winter.
All right. So with I have experience in I had a lot of longevity in my playing career, as did you, in terms of being at particular clubs. I didn't move a lot, but when I did, I have the experience of asking the manager to leave, and I just from what's been reported, LD, this wasn't handled in what I think is the proper way. And we talked about Alexander Isak moving from Newcastle to Liverpool and the way he sort of down tools and I've spoken about this. The way that you operate, and I talked last week or a week before about Chelsea and Manchester United. Get the adults in the room and be mature, right? If you're Josh Sargent, you want to leave, fine. What you don't do, if it was sent on a text, you don't text. Get all the adults in the room, the manager, director of football, your agent, and you say, guys, I get paid to score goals. I love scoring goals. I'm going to give you everything all the time. But, and again, I sound like a broken record. I said it on the show. But don't mistake my effort and my half-hearted smile for you thinking I want to be here. I want everybody in this room, and collectively look at each person. I want everybody in this room to do everything in their power to get me out of here by January 31st. Speak to Don Garber, speak to Toronto, everybody be on their best behavior. Get me out of here. As for me, I'll put my socks up, I'll lace my boots up, and I'll go score goals. Don't worry about that. But please, with respect, I've given everything to Norwich Football Club, everything I got. So I'm now asking you to do this. That's how you handle it. You don't send a text and say, if that's true, and say, my head's not in the right position or place. That's just, you don't do that, right? And I get it. It's not easy. Like LD, when I went to leave Manchester United, I remember, and I've told this story countless times. They brought in Edwin van der Sar, who was brilliant, best goalkeeper in the world at the time. I wasn't going to play. So I was pissed off. I was arrogant. I knew I could make it. I was right in the end, but I knew I could make it. And I marched upstairs. LD, I think you know the story. Probably for a week. I got the nerve up after a weekend game, so I'm going to speak to Sir Alex Ferguson. And I traipsed up those stairs, past the canteen, and his door was closed. And his door was closed every single day that week. And I went, I'll come back tomorrow. It's busy. I was scared shitless. But I finally knocked on the door. And I said, look, I want to play. I think I can play in the Premier League. And he said, look, we don't want to lose you, but we'll try and move you. If we can get someone in, we'll try and move you. That was it. Okay? I wasn't going to dictate my terms to Sir Alex Ferguson anyway, but like my point is the same. When I left Everton, my beloved Everton, and by the way, Roberto Martinez, who I love, I adore, I think he's a brilliant manager. I went in and sat in his office and said, "Look, Alfred, the timing's right. I need to move home. I need to go back to the MLS." And there was consequences. That was my club, LD. It was my club, and he basically said, "Okay, Tim, I'll grant you that wish. Now, with that means you're going to go sit next to me, and I'm going to play another guy." And it broke my heart, but that was the consequences, right? And it's not easy. And so, what I would like to have seen Josh Sargent do, and again, I just have the reports. I'll get some inside information at some point, but you don't send a text. So that's
the first thing I wrote down was, don't text. What do you do? First of all, it's not a great way to interact with your manager. If it's something serious, if you're like, hey, Gaffer, like, what a goal, huh? Or what, that's fine. Sure. But that's not how you have a serious conversation. So that's rumored, but we're going to assume that's true. So that was my first thing. Unfortunately, and this has evolved over time, and it's become more so, I think, in the last 5 or 10 years. International soccer is such a business. And you hear in the NFL all the time, they just say, it's business, it's business, it's business. It's a business decision. And it really is. And that's okay. And it's okay if it's on Josh Sargent's side, and it's okay if it's on Norwich's side. But I just want to share, part of the reason why you and I are on this pod right now is because I went to Everton. And I want to just remind people, over the course of 4 or 5 years with the Galaxy before I went to Everton, you build relationships with all the people, with Chris Klein, the president, with the coach, Bruce Arena, with the owner, Tim Lewicki, and Phil Anschutz, Dan Beckerman. You build relationships so that when these moments come, you can have an honest, real conversation, right? And there's respect on both sides. When I went to them and said, look, I have this opportunity to go to Everton, they could have said, go pound sand. You're not going anywhere. Sure. It's our off season and you need to rest. Yeah. But because of the relationship, I said, I really want to do this. And they granted me that wish. And it, it helped. It changed my life. It helped me in so many ways. And then, by the way, because they were so gracious, when Moyes brought me into his office at the end and said, look, is there anything we can do to keep you here? I said, I would love to, but I made a promise and we have a relationship. And so what I can't understand is someone who's been so valuable to that club. Why is there not some sort of relationship built where they can just go have an adult conversation? Correct. And clearly there's a strained relationship. It's broken down somewhere. We don't have all the context. Maybe Josh Sargent and his agent have gone in 15 times over the last 2 years and said, I want out. And they've said no. So I don't know exactly, but it's not a great look. Let's just hope for everyone involved. it gets resolved, because the last thing he needs is to be sitting on the bench for 6 months, not going anywhere.
No, he's good. He's a good striker. He scores goals.
He's very good. He
scores goals,
excellent
man.
for them.
And
excellent.
Yeah. No, your point's well taken. I mean, you're given what he's been to the club and vice versa. And look, and maybe it's a money thing, right? Like maybe they're like, you're too valuable to us. We need X amount of money to get you out the door. Sure, but that happens. But
18 million seems like a pretty fair price.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of money.
I mean, yeah, it is. All right, let's play little game that we did before. On the team, on the bubble, or on the outs. Okay.
Don't want to be on the outs.
I'm going to name the player. You tell me, and then I'll tell you what I think. On the team, on the bubble, or on the outs. Patrick Agyemang. And before I get there, his stats this year with Derby are 23 appearances, 19 of them starts, 6 goals, 3 assists. On the team, on the bubble, on the outs.
So can I, I'll give you my opinion. Can I tell you about the dark side of the game real quick?
Sure.
Pepi got injured. I bet you Patrick Agyemang sent him a text. I bet he sent him a tough luck, bro. Like, that sucks. I saw it. Hope you're okay. You know what he did after he said, if you press send? He rubbed his hands together. And I know that sounds dark. But he rubbed his hands together and thought, game on here. Because what he's saying is, now is my chance. Now I'm going to play. I'm definitely going to play in March. I'm playing well for Derby County. Let's go. I got this is my opportunity to like lay the cement and the brick and the mortar, and I'm on this team. And
well, remember, this is the last 2 chances
for
that team's named.
So for me, he's on the team. But also bearing in mind, I think you've told me in a regular roster we bring how many 9s? 4 out and out strikers usually. Yeah,
depending on your formation and how you. But like, I think there'll be at least 3, and I could see 4 being on. Like, out and out 9s.
I mean, the problem is, which we've touched on, is Poch might actually say my best players are in the midfield.
Yeah.
And if I don't have 4 guys who I think can even see the field at a 9, then there's a good chance he only brings 3.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
False 9, who knows?
Well, we just talked about Brenden Aaronson, right? So, like, would you rather him in this form or Pepi, who you're not sure of, or Sargent, who he's not been high on, right?
Yeah,
so
it's interesting.
Yeah, you can see that. Okay, I agree. I think,
yeah,
he's on the team, and look, not only is on the team, I think given, like, if you're in Pochettino's shoes, he can only judge what he's seeing, right? And so when Pepi's out injured again, and Pepi's out injured again, and Pepi's out injured again, now he has to say, okay, I just can't rely on him, even if I don't know how he feels about him, even if he loves him as a player. So you have to start to, in your mind, move on a little bit. And so I think if something happened to Balogun, I mean, Haji Wright, of course, is the logical other pick there, but like he's got to be right in that conversation.
Yeah,
I think for sure. Okay, Miles Robinson.
Bus. And the only reason I say bus is because he hasn't really
on the bubble.
Oh shit! Did I say bubble? Bus. Bubble. That's what I meant.
He could be on the bus.
It's a bubble bus.
Bus may stop. It may not.
Yeah, it's on the bubble. Okay,
bus.
So I think the only reason I say he's on the bubble is because he's had enough time to sort of. We're gonna play 3 in the back, right? Or three center
Seems
backs.
That way, yeah.
Seems that way. He's had enough time to solidify himself, right? Because right now we're saying Tim Ream, lock, Chris Richard, definitely lock, and we're not really sure about the other 2. Or we could probably conclude.
You're saying there's going to be 4 center backs?
I'm just saying we're going to play 3.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, we should be able to now, like, almost definitively say, like, the 3rd center back in the starting position will come from this one or this one, right? But we don't really know that definitively, which tells me that, well, Poch might know it, but he hasn't shown his hand, which tells me that Miles Robinson is probably on the bubble, leaning towards team. If I had to guess, you.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it like really through a coach's lens. If the rosters are 26, that's 3 extra players than you used to have, and you're playing 3 in the back, you have to carry at least 5 real center backs or 5 guys who can play center back. If you can't play 3 and only bring 4, I don't think. I think you have to bring a 5th. So because of that, I think he has to be on the team. So between Ream and Richards, there's 2. Mackenzie, I think, is probably on the team. Miles Robinson probably on, and then the fifth, who knows? I mean, I don't know who knows where you go from there, but I would think he has to bring 5.
I'm still interested with the Anthony Robinson. Can he play center back?
Maybe in some games.
Some games, but then there's 2 left footers. I don't know. They always can't really play 2 left footers. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Cristian Roldan.
Actually, good. All right, I'm going to say it. He's on a team.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
I just think the bulk of your players on your roster are going to come from the midfield. I think he's shown enough in games that he belongs there, and then I just think his intangibles. I think his grit, his leadership, his experience. How do you infuse experience into a young team? Well, you do it in this regard, right? You bring Tim Ream, you bring Cristian Roldan. So I think he's in for those reasons.
I'll tell you the other reason why I think he's in. Pochettino in October, I want to quote this, said, Cristian is a good example of how you need to be involved and defend and fight for your place. You need to arrive and show your personality and your character and then be available always. And if you play, you behave the same way as if you don't play. And I've said this multiple times. There will be 1 or 2 or 3 guys who make this team because they're good humans, good teammates. Yeah. Yes, they can play if needed, but they bring the whole group up and make the whole thing better. And if he's saying this about him publicly, this is not like he said it to you and me.
Yeah,
that means he trusts that he can say it and that Cristian's not going to get carried away with it and his ego's going to get, and he believes him. He also said Cristian is an example of how, if you want to build your perfect player, he has a little bit of everything. So I think he's on the team.
I think he's on.
Last one, Joe Scally.
He falls in the Miles Robinson category for me because he's at best he's a wing back, right? Like are we saying he's on the bubble for me. Like firmly on the bubble. I don't think he's leaning into the team. We have a lot of really good wing backs, and I don't think that's a position again where, as you and I will continue to build towards a World Cup, we will continue to talk about roster construction. Like that's a real thing, right? You'll have a few gimmies at the end, but like as we just talked about, it goes position by position. If I'm looking at our wing backs to me seem a little bit interchangeable. Meaning, like I say that to you, like Max Arston to me is a left wing back. Do I see him potentially in a pinch being able to play right wing back? Yes, right. And so based on that alone, and I don't think you're bringing 5 specific wing backs. I don't.
Correct.
So that could work against Joe Scally, personally.
The only thing I would say, because I think he's firmly on the bubble too, I would say leaning in only because he can play right back in a 4, right wing back in a 3. He can play on the left side, which he's shown, and he could probably play as a right center back too, if needed in a pinch. And that's really valuable when you're building a roster.
Sure. That's good.
All right, you guys let us know, where do you think these guys stand? Which players would you be curious for our thoughts on? Let us know, because we'll keep doing this as we go throughout the time. All right, it is time for the Unfiltered Refresh, sponsored as always by Coors Light. Choose chill, get Coors Light delivered. Go to CoorsLight.com/USLNT. Timmy, this week, very, very good, influential, I think historically good U.S. women's national team player is coming home. We've been talking a lot about players leaving, wanting to leave, the whole Trinity Rodman deal. But Lindsay Heaps is coming back to Denver, to Colorado, where he used to play. She is from Golden, Colorado. How about that for a tie-in?
Just makes sense.
Pretty good. She's won an NWSL championship with the Thorns. She won the Shield. She won 4 consecutive Premier League titles and an Olympic gold medal and a World Cup. I love when I say, like, every time I see the women's national team's player, I'm like, you've won a World Cup. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Like I got to the quarterfinals once. Just congrats to her. Really happy to see players coming back to the league, and it's a really big win for the league. It really is.
Yeah. This just made sense, man. Lindsay, in my eyes, is a legend. I've spent time with her in Denver. She's a special human being. She's an amazing person.
She's a winner, man.
She's a winner.
She just wins.
She's a winner, and you just think, and not everyone can do this, but she's going home. and she's gonna. This is, and for I'm getting a little bit sort of romantic here. Like, you're starting to get to, and we've sort of been in a place with soccer in America where this is a young girl from Golden, Colorado, who never in her wildest soccer dreams, kicking the ball in Denver, thought, I will fill a stadium one day.
Totally.
And I will captain and play for a club that's in my backyard. That was never even a thought for her.
Totally.
Right? And she's been around the world and she's won everything. And now she can tie a bow on what's been a brilliant career and play at home. And I get goosebumps talking about that. I'm super psyched for her, for the city of Denver, because the city of Denver is dear to my heart and I absolutely love them. So I'm really, really excited. That's awesome for Lindsay.
Perfectly said, Lindsay Horan Heaps. Lindsay Heaps. Congrats to you for choosing chill. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get into some of the recent significant MLS offseason moves right here on Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. Stay right there. The Unfiltered Soccer podcast is brought to you by Volkswagen, the presenting partner of U.S. Soccer.
Find out more about how VW is supporting U.S. Soccer at VW.com. And check out the Tiguan, bringing nice things to everyone.
Rolling sound, quiet.
Reset.
Hi, I'm referee number 2. So sorry I'm late. Violation. Red card. And cut. I can do it again.
Moving on.
Oh, we got it.
So this is your car, huh?
Yeah. Bye, guys.
How much are we paying this guy?
I don't even know who that is.
The winter stretch of soccer is here with wall-to-wall fixtures, derby days, cup clashes, and so much more. You can get in on every match with FanDuel, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, make a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use on goal scorer markets, assist markets, match result, over-unders, same-game parlays, and so much more. With the matches stacking up, there's never been a better time to make your move. Stay tuned to FanDuel Stoppage Time to hear our updated predictions for the EPL. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and get started. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
All right, LD, MLS news and notes. Your neck of the woods, San Diego FC.
Yeah.
Chucky Lozano not back or not in the plans for 2026. Your thoughts, and I know you have a few.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because when Chucky Lozano first came in San Diego, casual fans and soccer fans were so excited. And this is one of those ones, Tim, where you say, ugh, how is this going to be? And unfortunately, what happened with Chucky Lozano is people who started San Diego FC, who are not technical people, not the soccer people who started the club said, we need a Mexican player and we need to sign, X, Y, and Z because, and ended up really pushing to.
Which is valid to an extent. Yeah.
Which is valid. As long as the player can perform.
Understood. Yeah.
And Chucky Lozano was the name they landed on. They signed him against the wishes of, certainly of the sort of technical staff at the time, who didn't include Mikey Veras yet, but certainly against the wishes of people who wanted to run the soccer side. But they were sort of forced to sign him. And you kind of saw this coming. And then just the way they play and the emergence of Anders Dreyer, what he did at the end of the season. Chucky Lozano was, I forget what he did at the end of the season, but he was something internal that was not looked well upon. He got benched at the end of the season. So ultimately, and I think Mikey Vera said this the right way, we respect him as a player. It's just not the right fit. And for Chucky Lozano, if he's not the right fit and he's not going to play, he wants to play because he wants a chance of playing in the World Cup.
Totally.
And for San Diego FC, they wasted, I do say that, they wasted, a DP spot. They're paying him $7.6 million a year. And now they got to find a way out. And it's messy because he has a long-term deal. So it's messy, but hopefully if both sides are on the same page, you can find a way to make amends for this.
Well, my take is similar. Like I think that from an exit strategy, they handled it well. Obviously front-facing wise, I think they handled it well. The issue is, and this will never not be an issue, is this as well as I do. You cannot miss on big DPs, because when you miss on big DPs, this is what it looks like. The player basically has the power, right? $7.6 million a year. Like when you're not in MLS, right? And I can think of a laundry list of examples in England. Big clubs, big player, arrogant. He said, I ain't doing nothing. I'm down in tools and I'm taking my money because you owe me $200,000 a week. What happens is they go, because they have a reserve system set up, you're not even training with the reserves. You're going to go train with the 18s. You're going to do double sessions with the 18s. And if you don't do every single session we tell you, we're going to whack you. We're going to fine you, right? They embarrass you. Then they say, because of the structure, LD, teams actually get let off the hook because you get a big name player and everybody thinks they can turn a big name player who's got a bad attitude into a top striker at their club. So you've got all these clubs pandering for like loan moves, right? So there's all these different options to put this guy, and I'm not saying Lozano's a bad guy, but that when something just doesn't go right, you have all these places to put him. In MLS, there's not a single place to put a guy who you just get wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's really difficult.
You can't just. What team now is going to touch him in MLS?
At that
it's like what? Right at that number, you might give him $500,000 and say, let's see if it works. But you're not using a DP spot. You're not paying him $7 million a year. So we could be wrong. Maybe someone will, but I highly, highly, highly doubt it. So I think it's best for all parties. Let's hope that it gets sorted out for everyone's sake. Yeah. And by the way, look at the season they had.
I know.
With him being that bad.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. So imagine they had gotten that part right and they had a real stud like number 9 or a winger or whatever, they could have been really nasty. Big news, Cristian Espinoza, I think he is one of the most underrated players in the league. He was with the Earthquakes for a long time, went to Nashville as a free agent. Very interesting there. And by the way, the story with San Jose is wild. I want to stress this. This was not Bruce Arena who did this, but someone who was running the technical side before literally just forgot that they had to trigger his option, or at least triggered the option to trigger the option. And so all of a sudden he became a free agent. This is, you talk about fireable offenses. Like, this is unacceptable. And so he became a free agent. And I know they tried hard to keep him and re-sign him, but in the end he said, all right, well, I guess you didn't want me, so I'm going to go to Nashville. And it makes Nashville really good because he's a really good player too. Really
well, good. Look, I don't have that inside information as you do. But ultimately, what I do like about where MLS is going, we've sort of seen this over the last 2 years, is you're starting to see real big in interleague sort of transactions, movement. And that could be through purchase, it could be through free agency. And to be quite honest, I think that's where this league is going to thrive. I do. I've always said, I've always believed this. The best players in the MLS are already in the MLS. Now, can you go find one? Sure. But the amount of players that we've gone to find and failed is a really high number, right? The ones who have succeeded, the best players are already within the league. Like, I would argue that you should go get one of the top 10 players in the league versus going outside the league to bring in a player.
Way better.
Right. And I don't mean Messi. That's a dumb one. Like, oh, let's go get Messi. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you start to look at the best players in the league, Espinoza as an example, he makes your team really good.
Yep.
Can you go find him somewhere? Well, I think a lot of GMs think they can.
Well, you can, but you probably got to pay $20 million.
You probably have
$15 million.
Yeah.
And now in MLS, the interesting thing is, like, he was a free agent. They didn't have to pay anything for him, right? Yeah, I mean, it makes it interesting. Inter Miami continued to add talent. Teams around the league must be livid watching this all happen. But, as long as it's...
You saying Sir Dave's cooking the books down there? No chance.
No, I'm actually not. I'm just saying they're creative. And, like, I think people want to come play here. And we had it in LA, Tim. Like,
I know.
We did. We had players. We had some guys who would, like, some Swedish guys or whatever. They were probably making $500,000 or $600,000 in Sweden. And they're like, I want to live in LA. I'll take $200,000. My family wants to live there. I'm at the end of my career. And so they signed Palmeiras center back Mikel, a loan with an option to buy. Also, like, young South American players are cheaper. And if you do it on a loan with an option to buy, you get them for a year or two at a really good price. They signed David Ayala from Portland for a $2 million transfer. Again, to your point, within the league, if that's the best place to get it, that's where you get it. They tried to get Tristan Blackmon. Reportedly, they offered $3 million. It was actually reported in Miami that it happened, and it didn't. Our guy Tom Bogart cleaned that up. So Tristan Blackmon not moving to Miami, but they're getting better, man. They're just improving.
You had it, and as much as I think Sir David Beckham is literally a footballing god, I don't even know if, and you talked about it, I don't even know if he had this pulling power, but, like, quite literally, and I don't know the books down in Inter Miami. I don't. Obviously, we can get all that information, but there has to be a level of, like, their technical director and their front office and their ownership are so much in the driver's seat. They go after a player and they go, you get to live in Miami. Oh, and by the way, you get to play with Messi. And we've won major trophies the last 2 years.
And there's no state income tax. And it's like there's all these things that just pile up.
You know how many people are going, yeah, just put whatever you want on the check. I want to play with Messi.
Right.
I'm not suggesting that it happens exactly, but, like, that's a thing.
No, but it is a big piece of it. There's it's location, it's players, it's successful club. I mean, all that.
But also, let's tip our hats to Inter Miami. They've won the Supporters Shield. They've won the Cup.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
No, I know you are. But I'm just saying in general. And now they're making moves to get better. Like,
yeah,
well done.
And by the way, all of that doesn't mean you win, just automatically. And they've won. So congrats to them. Eric Ramsay, the coach of Minnesota, went to take the West Brom job in the championship. They are currently 18th and fighting relegation.
Don't ask me.
You know how I feel.
I got my popcorn. I got my popcorn for you this segment.
How I feel.
How do you feel about this?
Oh man, this is bizarre. Really bizarre to me. You are now considered the man in Minnesota. You've had 2 good years there with a team that does not spend a lot. Why are you going? I know it's exciting to go to England and overseas, quote unquote, but, like, what are you doing? I hope I'm wrong, Tim. I hope I'm wrong. I hope West Brom get promoted and he's the man and they do amazing. I just don't get it. And I don't get it at this point of the season. They are struggling right now. So what happens if he struggles, they struggle, he gets relegated? Now you're either coaching in League One or you're fired. And you had a great thing going in Minnesota. Minnesota has a great ownership group. I know people who work there. Ben Grossman there. Like, they have phenomenal people there. Mm-hmm. I just don't get it. But I hope I'm wrong. I do. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, you hope that that Eric Ramsay's making a move to, to obviously take the West Brom job and get them up the table. Look, I don't suggest that they're going to get relegated, but when you take over a team in 18th place in the table in January, I think the odds are 50-50, But look, it's hard to say if the lure or the pull of going back home was important to him.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe
he
there's a
can't.
personal reason.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, and I know, I have a friend there that's at West Brom on the board, and I look, it's a good football club. I played against them a bunch of times. Obviously, dropping down out of the championship is really difficult for everybody. So clearly, they're making the move, to sort of kickstart their season. So hopefully that can go well. Obviously, we'll watch the space. But
I will say stylistically, he's like, they're not aesthetically pleasing the way his Minnesota teams played, but they're really effective. And so they might be saying like, look, we don't need to be pretty. We just need to survive.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Okay, elsewhere, it's Premier League, but there were FA Cup games this weekend. The big one, Macclesfield. I didn't realize, Tim. I thought they were League Two. They're like National North-South or something, right? 6th division. So Macclesfield beat the defending champions, Crystal Palace. You were part of this so many times. Like, what are your thoughts on all this?
There's a magic to it. I mean, look, and this is sort of, when we get in these promotion relegation talks, you and I, and everyone's talking about it. Like this is like a Macclesfield town is sort of the team I'm thinking about, right? The team who used to be fighting to try and get up the league. Now they're just rock bottom of the football league. And how do you get out of that? And what does that mean economically? And, we think about John Rooney's the manager, his younger brother, Wayne Rooney. Their center back, Sam Heathcote, is a PE teacher, gym teacher. One guy works at his friend's candle business. That's Paul Dawson, who scored the opener. And it's funny. So it's funny, other than like, the FA Cup is magical. People talk why. It's magical. And for Macclesfield Town to win and knock out the holders and advance, I think, and we'll probably get this wrong to the exact amount, but they got like £400,000 to move on, right? Between like television and gate and next round. And that, that type of money, even if it's not £400,000, that type of money changes the outlook of a club. That may keep them afloat. That may keep people in jobs. And I don't just mean the players, by the way. I mean the cooks and the janitors and the people around the club. This is so interesting to me, and Macclesfield Town has a special place in sort of my football brain. So in 2009, I think that was year 8 or 9, where we had a magical cup run, Everton. We got to the final against Chelsea. Luis Saha scored in like 15 seconds, and I wished games were about 5 minutes long because we would have won. But we ended up losing 2-1 to Chelsea at Wembley. It was a magnificent day. And the beginning of that cup run was now. We drew Macclesfield Town away, Everton, and I never forget, we trained on the Friday, and we got on, and we had lunch at the canteen, and we got on the bus, and he said, we're going to the hotel, but we're going to the ground first. And everyone's flipping, moaning, LD, like, what's this fella doing? And this is Moisey. Yeah. So training finishes, lunch finishes. We get on the bus, and Macclesfield is like Manchester area-ish, right? So we go down the road, probably 45 minutes down the road from the Everton training ground. And we pull up outside this ground. And he knew, because he had gotten word. So he basically got us off the bus. And it was so surreal, LD. And it was I think there was a freeze on that night. It was freeze or snow or something. So the entire town, the entire village was frantically making preparations to cover the pitch. So at Goodison in the Premier League, you have undersoil heating, right? So they were saying, we can't have this game off. We have to play this game. So literally they had makeshift tarps, not just the groundsman, not the team.
People had like their curtains that they laid out over.
Makeshift tarp, right? We turn up. They're like, these people are like delighted because it's like a Premier League team like came to see their ground. He then takes us inside the dressing room, which is clever because the dressing room was no bigger than the studio I was in, and the studio is a trillion times nicer. And you couldn't stand shoulder to shoulder. And and we got back on the bus, and he basically said, like, you ain't gonna be surprised tomorrow. No matter what you do, you ain't gonna be surprised tomorrow. And that's why he brought us there on the Friday. And I remember we won. I think Leon Osmond scored a great goal, but it was tight. It was like 1-0 or 2-1, and we barely got out of there with a win and went on to have a great cup run. But I remember thinking, like, this is insane. Like, when you get to the Premier League, you forget what the others don't have. And his point was, you're gonna find out. And Macclesfield Town, like, what a crazy little place. So the fact that they went through is amazing. They'll be everyone's favorite team this year. So who they get next and all the rest of it, it's exciting.
That's amazing. It reminds me when I first went to Germany when I was 17, I was playing when I first started playing the reserve games, it was 4th division. And I'm like, oh, I'm a professional now. And like, where you go to like Rot-Weiss Essen and you walk in the locker room and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, this
Crazy.
is worse than my high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild.
We literally got changed at the hotel for an FA Cup game. We couldn't get changed in the dressing room.
All right, so some managerial updates from the Premier League because we've been following this. It looks like Michael Carrick, who is now the caretaker manager, is the front runner to be the caretaker manager for the rest of the season, right? And then we'll see what happens after that. Interesting caveat is just this morning, Xabi Alonso out at Real Madrid. Talk about the grass isn't always greener. I mean, I know you don't turn down Real Madrid, but like, what a good thing he had at Leverkusen. And I know he'll be fine, but that's interesting. Like, keep your eyes on that. If he comes to the Premier League, what does that look like?
Do you think he's in the fold? Does he have to be considered for the Manchester United job now? Like, is he a name that's going
you have to, right?
into the hat? Yeah.
Would he do it if they offered him?
I mean, given his ties to Liverpool, it's an interesting question. I think he has enough. I think he has enough stock in sort of Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen,
being away
Real Madrid. As you know, I'm talking about as players and managers. He might have enough. I don't want to sound naive here because I'm very in tune to like how supporters feel about certain players. He might have enough sort of removal from Liverpool. I don't know if anyone could have enough removal from Liverpool to manage Manchester United, but maybe. Given the amazing years, and he probably had better years at Real Madrid and Bayern Munich as a player, right? So maybe.
Yeah. Chelsea hired former Strasbourg coach Liam Rosenior, so that's interesting. That is a club that is taking you are going to coach and we are going to do everything else. So it'll be interesting to watch how that plays out. Last Premier League news and notes, the Martinelli Connor Bradley incident on the weekend. So I wasn't watching, but you guys were texting it all, and so I went and looked. Connor Bradley unfortunately ruled out for the rest of the year with a knee injury, and the interesting thing was Martinelli was giving him a bid and trying to get him off the pitch and thought he was faking it. And I don't know, what's your take on all that? It's a tricky moment because like you're emotional. It's the end of the game. You're like, I want to win the game, get off the pitch.
Sure.
But and a lot of times guys aren't hurt.
Yeah.
Or they aren't seriously hurt, but that's the problem. It looked bad for Martinelli.
That's the problem with our sport, right? There's so many injuries that are feigned and fake that like
totally
when something like this happens, we make Martinelli out to be the devil.
Yeah, like in the NFL or the NHL, someone's hurt, they're hurt.
They're hurt, yeah.
They're not faking it. So like
right, and there's no draws, right? So like what sport you're like, oh, you're away from home. We have a draw. Let me waste time. Like you don't do that in other sports. So anyway, my take on it was exactly what I thought initially. So because we have replay, you can see right away on the replay that there's a nasty twist of Connor Bradley's knee. So obviously devastating news for him. Hope he gets better and hope the prognosis is really good. Gabriel Martinelli, again, he's a fiery player. I actually thought he got away with one because he goes and picks up the ball, sort of drops it on him, sort of throws it at him, and then like nudges him with his knee shin to like get him off the pitch. Doesn't look great, but you know what? We've seen it 1,000 times, and we wouldn't even be talking about this at all if the guy like took a knock. No one would care like that. We wouldn't be talking about it.
Because it's serious.
It's because it's serious. What I think is Gabriel Martinelli any day of the week would never have done that if he knew how serious it was. He just thought the guy was wasting time and faking injury. And I believe he's spoken to Connor Bradley and apologized.
Yeah, I think he sent him a text or called him,
like genuinely. And so for me, then you put it to bed and you go, look, the guy made a mistake and You never would. I truly don't believe in having covered the Premier League and watching these players and knowing these players. There's no way in the world Martinelli, knowing what had happened, would have done that. He wouldn't have reacted that way if he knew the guy snapped his knee. He just wouldn't have. So he only did it. Yeah. So
it's Stoppage Time, sponsored by FanDuel. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. All right, this week is a good one, really juicy one. The Manchester Derby always attracts a lot of attention, but I think this week in particular, with everything going on at United, not good scenes there around the United club and locker room. Unfiltered Soccer's same game parlay this week is for the Manchester Derby, of course. And because of what I just said, I think City win this game. There's too much at stake for them. Yes, there's a lot at stake for United, but I think it's going to take United a long time to get this ship right. Man City win the game and keep within touching distance of Arsenal. Erling Haaland to score or have an assist, most likely score. I don't know how you bet against him scoring right now. The guy is in his prime. City, I believe, will be up at half. I think they come out fast and try to take this game over right away and try to end the game by halftime. I could see them scoring even a couple goals by halftime. And I think it'll go over 2.5 goals. I think in the end, if United are down 1-0, 2-0, I think they're going to push, and that's going to open the field and allow for more chances to score. So I think this game will definitely go over 2.5 goals. Don't forget to check out the full list of Unfiltered Soccer futures on our socials later this week. All right, let's take a pause. When we come back, we will get into your questions in the AT&T Fan Connection with JR right here on Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, as always, presented by Volkswagen. This episode is brought to you by Airbnb.
You know, I travel so often to see my daughter play college soccer, and we're going to some of these towns where big sporting events, oftentimes local accommodations are sold out. And I'm a last minute traveler. So I need to be able to go on Airbnb and not have to worry about hotels. And I think for locals, you can post your home on Airbnb, make some money to then go to your favorite sporting event, and also in the process make my life easier.
And look, Tim, if you love sports and you love fans and you want people to experience that real environment, when you host your home, you allow them to be really close to the action in a neighborhood location, which is amazing. So you can sort of give back while hosting your home and making a few bucks on the way.
Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host.
All right, Timmy, we're into the new year. This year is going to be crazy. You and I are going to have so much going on with everything going on this summer. It's going to be wild. It's stressful too. A lot of photo shoots, appearances, broadcasting, podcasting. So when it's time to choose chill, it's great to grab a Coors Light, relax. What I'm going to start doing this year actually is playing a lot of hockey. Got a game tonight. And after the game, believe it or not, Tim, they cracked open a bunch of Coors Lights right after the game. And it made me think of you. And it was my way of choosing chill too.
Love it. When you embrace a chill mindset this year, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Choose chill from the start and reach for a Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/UFS, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer.
Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
There's nothing better than feeling like someone has your back and that things are going to get done even without you having to ask. Like your crisp new jersey waiting for you in the locker room, or a perfectly set up wall for a free kick.
Yeah, as we on Unfiltered Soccer get ready for next summer, we know that very little in the beautiful game is guaranteed. But as we prepare to bring our unfiltered brand of nonstop soccer coverage, it's good to know AT&T has your back with the AT&T Guarantee.
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. That's the AT&T Guarantee.
Learn more at att.com/guarantee. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or a wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Must be connected to impacted towers at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details. It's time for the Fan Connection presented by AT&T. Every week we invite you, the listener, to connect with us by submitting your questions. At AT&T, connecting changes everything. And on USMNT, our connections with you will help grow the game. It's time now for the AT&T Fan Connection. JR, how are you?
JR, under the weather.
I'm not well. I am not well at all.
I mean, every time we have to deal with Landon, we're not well. This is how it
Well,
goes.
You know what, dude? You know that Maine shirt, when I went to Maine after that, I got sick too. So I think it's a Portland Hearts of Pine thing.
I also got a hat.
Oh, there
Look
we
how
go.
cute it is.
It's very
Did they
Where's
send
Waldo?
that to you, JR?
No, I paid good American dollars for
That's
this.
amazing.
Hey,
Good.
Gabe Hoffman Johnson, I know you're listening. I can't believe you made her pay and didn't
No.
No, she's a supporter. That's how it works. She's a supporter.
I know, but
amazing.
come on, dude.
It's good. It's good to
Alright.
support your friends.
He's gonna feel guilty now.
I really want to go up there. We have family friends who live up there and
Definitely.
used to work for the Beaner. They used to work for LL Bean, so I have
Really?
to get up there and see a game.
I'm sorry. Did you just call him the Beaner?
Yes.
I think we should do, JR, hear me out here. This is for a production meeting later, but we should rent a cabin and do a live pod from like a cabin
That'd be rad.
and then go to the
Okay.
game and do it from the game.
That'd
Yes.
be
There we
great.
go. I mean,
I mean, it's
I
beautiful.
love that.
Beautiful there and cold.
I will
Jesus.
say, Gabe Hoffman Johnson, can we get some like crew necks or some sweaters or something? Because I'm not. This is a t-shirt, and I can't in Maine. even in the summertime, it's a
There'll be
little chilly
sweaters.
up there.
No,
Yeah.
it's chilly.
Okay, we have a lot of things to get through
let's
today.
go.
Go
Let's
on.
start with some comments.
Mm-hmm.
This first one is just a little factoid. This is from Charlie via YouTube. Tim, about your comment about college players training in the summer
Yeah.
with USL2 teams last week. NCAA regulates that you can only have a max of 5 players from one college. In other words, you're going to have to spread your roster over 5 to 6 USL2 teams. They will get training, but not all together.
No shit. The NCAA regulated something. I'll tell you this. I don't think they want soccer to be very good because
they
these
don't.
coaches, like a college coach in America, sees his players like for 3 hours a year. He gets you don't get time.
It's actually ridiculous.
You don't get time to train your players.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, okay, I'm sure they regulate it, and I'm sure it has to be spread across. But like, who knows? Yeah, fair.
This one is from Parker via email. The listener questioned last week about why the guys hate Arsenal so much, and the responses to that question peaked as a referee. These sentiments are exactly how I and almost all
sure.
referees feel as a referee.
Mhm.
Why would a referee care at all about who wins the match? If somebody makes a dumb foul in the penalty area, we call a penalty kick.
Mhm.
While there is a ton of gray area in the nitty-gritty of decisions, bias isn't involved. Also, the teams only remember missed calls that went
Totally.
against them and have no memory of the ones that went in their favor.
It's so true.
It's so
And-
true. And the funny thing about it is like, that's like a real narrative. When you talk to like, I don't know, particularly Premier League fans, they go so hard. Oh, this guy doesn't, and they remember everything the person didn't like do for them. And you're just like, it's not like, just stop. But
It's like that in the NFL with Patrick Mahomes. It's just like this narrative that like the refs are giving him every call and the league has like wants him to, and I'm like, just shut up.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, God, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, she's right.
I also just think that, like, no matter what your job is, I hope people take pride in doing it well. And so I would hope that the referees also just want to do their job well. So
Yeah.
They-
And
the
if
one-
by the way, they make mistakes, they get fired.
Of course.
Like that's
The one caveat to that, I would say, but this
uh-oh.
no, it debunks the myth, is like, do I think referees are swayed by big players, big
I was
moments, and big
just gonna
teams?
say the
Yes, I
same
do.
thing,
I
too.
do.
Yeah.
Right? But here's what I would say. The only people that complain about refereeing decisions are the big teams. So I'm like, wait, you're getting the calls anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like LD, have you ever spoken to a Liverpool fan? If you've ever
Try not
spoken
to.
to a Liverpool fan,
I'm sick, guys.
world-
Can't you
I'm
be
not-
nice to me?
I lived and played there. The world is against them. And
That's
yeah, but
true.
you're Liverpool Football Club.
That's
Look,
true.
look at all the things look at all the things you get. But the world's against them anyway. Yeah, here we go.
The world is against us.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we go somewhere, they treat us horrible. It's awful.
No, and you had nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. No, just
No, I
saints-
just live over
saints.
here in America trying to do my job at the best I can. Okay, here we go. some questions. This one is from Ben via email. I'm curious. Oh my God, I love this. I'm curious if you could do some more digging into the Rapids coaching change. Why would the Rapids hire Chris Armas and then fire him after 2 seasons that weren't that bad? They didn't really give him time to implement his system. Was this a power struggle like you talked about on last week's episode? Is Matt Wells just going to go along and coach? He sounds like someone who wants to be in charge and doesn't have any experience with the MLS roster model. As you said, he's coming into a club with limited resources. Did Armas choose to leave because of the club budget restraints?
I think that's a good question. From what I think I know, there was, I think they were apart on numbers. Let's say that. I think from a contractual standpoint, in terms of compensation, I believe that. And then from there, and you'll have to do your own homework, I think there was some miscommunication between parties, club, player, agent, club, player, that sort of triangle. I think there was some miscommunication, or maybe.
And Armas, remember, he had a bad press conference at the end, and that didn't help. And I don't know. I would be shocked if Chris Armas, who desperately wanted to be a coach, got a job in Toronto, didn't go well, went to Colorado. You only get really 2 chances, maybe 3 as a coach. If you get fired 3 times, you're not coaching again. Like, you're really not. And I would be shocked if he, on his own will, said, I'm not dealing with this, unless there was some personal reason or family reason, or it was so untenable that he just said, I'm not doing it. I don't think he would have just left. That's my opinion.
And I can say with experience, Colorado isn't that type of place where things become untenable.
I think I never got that impression either.
So anyway, it's a good question. Yeah, to your point, when you start to get, 3 fires on your CV without tons of success, I think that gives you a mountain to climb. Look, I think Chris Armas is a good coach. So the likelihood is he'll get another opportunity probably in the MLS, if not abroad, if he wants it somewhere. So at what level, I guess we'll see.
Okay, this next question is from Josh via email. Did either of you ever see yourself as a professional in something other than soccer, or were you soccer all the way?
As in athlete? Is that?
Yeah, like another sport.
Oh.
I'm still waiting on my NBA 10-day contract. Like there was a time
Tell
where
your boy Jason Kidd to get
I could do it. I could have done a job at the end of a bench for 10 days.
I could have been a hype man for 10 days. I never, because I played all sports, but not competitively, but I would play soccer competitively. But when I got home from school, it was baseball, basketball, football, hockey, roller hockey, anything but soccer, really. So I played all those, but not competitively. I always wanted to play baseball and tennis as I got older, but it was, that train had left the station, and I was all in on soccer, but I would have loved to have played those sports too.
I also think there's like 0.5% of the athletic population that can do both sports. The ones you hear about are obviously the 0.5%.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really good at basketball, but could I have played at any other level? No, not really. Right. So it's so hard.
Although, Tim, I would say if you had started at 3 years old and you were all in on basketball the way you were soccer.
Sure. But I'd
have maybe made it
100%, but I would have
not a star or whatever, but maybe made it.
I would have put the 10,000 hours in, right? So
that's my point.
Yeah,
people
totally.
ask me, they're like, well, you were just born to play soccer. I was like, if I played tennis from 3, with all the things that I have going, the dedication and the work 100%. Ethic and all that, I would have been a tennis player.
Definitely. That part, yeah. I'm just saying, as it was playing both sports coming up through high school and whatever.
Yeah, but playing both at the same time, no chance.
So are you saying that somebody who currently is or has been a successful professional athlete was destined to be a professional athlete regardless of which sport was introduced to them at a young age? Or do you think there are certain sports that you're like, I don't think I could have been a race car driver or whatever?
I could not have played basketball due to physical constraints, right? I probably could not have played hockey because everyone's 6'2" or taller, right? But if I had started and played tennis or baseball at the same, because there's so much more that go into the sport to being a professional than just being able to save a ball. Tim had to have all the other things that come with it. And if you can do it in one sport, you can do it. That's translatable.
But
no question.
Yeah, but I also think you find out a lot about sports. Like my daughter, God bless her, she did cheerleading for 1 year. You know what we found out after one season? She's not a cheerleader, right? But she was a soccer player and a basketball player. And but you start to, any parent sort of figures out, you help your kids get into activities. Like a perfect example would be Venus and Serena Williams. Their dad put them in tennis because there was a viable avenue for that. Or Tiger Woods, his dad put him in golf because he was at a golf club. But like, if you would have told me, given their background, if the Williams sisters were good at softball or basketball, would they be, given how their upbringing was, would they have been the best? Yeah, they'd have been the best because they had a father and a mother who supported them, who
and the ability
drove them, and they had ability. So if they had that specific technique, they would have been professional no matter what.
For sure.
Yeah.
Should we do a new rule?
Oh no, I'm kind of enjoying this.
New rules, everybody.
So this is not. I just want to. This is not a new rule. We didn't get any really good new rules. You guys got to do better. I'm not talking to the two of you. I'm talking to you, listener or viewer. You got to do better with these new rules. Get more creative. This one is basically asking you about what they're calling the Arsene Wenger rule, right? Changing the offside rule. So this one's from Mike via email. And shout out to Mike because he coaches women's soccer at SUNY Brockport, which is in between Rochester and Buffalo, New York.
SUNY
So Mike says hockey's offside rule only requires a part of the body, even just a toe or a skate blade, to be onside for an attacking player to be considered onside. I think soccer should adopt this. It would bring back the spirit of giving the benefit of the doubt to the attacker, result in more goals, and even more, let's try that again, and even improve the experience of the video review for the fans who won't feel so shafted when a toenail was offside anymore. What do you guys think?
Love it.
So the Arsene Wenger thing, remind me, it's clear daylight. That's what he says, right? Clear daylight.
You have to be entirely offside to be offside.
Right, like a full, clear line between the attack. Yeah, look, I would say, and you know this, Landon, that would not create more goals. That would create so many more goals. Like if you could be, I mean, when players are a fraction off, Landon, they usually score. Yep. If they're a complete body sort of daylight between them and the defender, we'd have 20 times more goals.
I love it. I've said this forever. Not specifically about what it exactly looks like, but I don't understand why you're trying to eliminate goals from the game. People want to see, especially in our country. Yeah. Like they want to see, in baseball, there's a reason why the tie goes to the runner.
Yeah.
Like they want people on base. They don't want you to be called out because you get there at the same time. So I've always said, like, make it more feasible to score more goals. You don't have to get gimmicky or whatever, but I'm saying the offside rule can be adapted a tiny bit so that it gives the attacker a little advantage. Yeah, all for it. It's hard to score, man. It's hard.
I know this is like not even that important, but I hate when they score a goal and then everybody suddenly looks at the referee, you know, so there's like no celebration. And even the fans are like, oh no, they're about to ruin our whole day. Like
we didn't play with that. So I don't even know what that's like. It's terrible. It is. It really is.
And I love VAR. So I know you guys.
I do too. I agree with that. I would have hate to have scored, went and celebrate, jump into the riot squad and the ACB and whatever. And then you're like, oh.
Why do you love VAR?
Because I want to get it right.
I think it works. It gets it right.
I know how hard it is to score, and if a goal got called back incorrect, or if it got called incorrectly, I'd be livid. If it was a good goal, I'd be livid.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it, but I also think you probably need to, like, given what you're saying about celebration, you almost probably have to, like, allow the team to go celebrate again. I know it sounds crazy, but like if everybody's like, if it's one of those long ones where everyone's like walk back to the center circle, we're like waiting. If he blows for a goal, get down the other end.
You get a minute to go.
It's
celebrate.
like NFL,
You're
right?
allowed
In the
to take
NFL,
your shirt off. No yellow card.
Yeah, totally. Actually, if it's a VAR and it's allowed, you should get to take your shirt off. That'd be great.
as somebody, and you guys know I'm such a perfectionist about the show to an annoying degree. I also want to get things right, but I just feel like at some point, like, isn't human error part of what makes the game a game?
No.
I mean, if you can eliminate it.
We're gonna eliminate.
We should have VAR on this show.
You're obsessed about.
What was
we
the
should VAR?
What was the show that Around the Horn was it?
Yes,
where they had
they would do errors at the end.
at the end.
Yeah.
Well, then
we'd have
I
too
would
many
have to
errors.
come in here and let Landon know that he earlier said that Connor Bradley was hurt over the weekend. He wasn't. That was Thursday.
Oh, there's an error.
Yeah, it's an error.
It's probably time to go, JR.
Just a reminder that you can send me your questions or your new rule. Please get creative. Don't let me down. To feedback@unfilteredsoccer.com. Also, please continue to be polite. I do really love the people who insist on writing their emails to you like I don't exist, which is absolutely hilarious. They're like, "Hi, Landon and Tim. Here are the things I'd like you to talk about on the show."
Here's what I would say. This isn't about you, JR. It's not about you.
No, it's not.
It's
not
a Tim and
about
Landon
me.
show.
And, one of these days when this head cold just takes me under, it'll be someone else reading these emails anyway. So it's not really that relevant.
It's true. Just send them to us.
Right.
Just send them to us.
It is about you. And JR, feel better.
Feel better, JR.
Thank you.
All right, Timmy, another show. That went fast.
Yeah.
That was fun. I've got a photo shoot today. And then tonight, hockey game, baby.
Wait.
My second hockey game.
How excited are you for photo shoots now? Do you style your hair?
Yeah, that's nice. When
You
I
get
go in,
makeup?
and like, do you need hair? I used to be like, just put a little shine to the forehead, and now I'm like, yeah, you got a lot of work to do there.
That's amazing. Do you tell them you're wearing a wig, or do they know it? I know.
It's first of all, it's not a wig. No, it kind of is. I don't know actually if I've done one like this now with it. It'd be interesting. Let's see if they find out.
behind the scenes. Send me behind the scenes.
I will. I'll let you know. All right, guys. Thank you all for being with us. As always, subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. Follow us social media at Unfiltered Soccer for lots of bonus content. Thank you, VDub. We love you guys. AT&T, our Fan Connection sponsor, love you guys. And FanDuel, our stoppage time sponsor, love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week.
A lot of love coming from ULD. Thanks also to our Unfiltered Refresh sponsor, Coors Light, and our additional sponsor, Airbnb. Have an amazing week. We'll be back next week with a new episode of Unfiltered Soccer.